everybody, thanks once again for joining me here at Lisa Horton Crafts. Okay, let's run through what I'm going to be using today. So I'm going to be using the nested scalloped and stitched rectangles. I'm also using the Builder Sentiment collection. Now this is the occasion set. This has been out for a while now. It is £24.99, which sounds a lot of money. However, there are 7 dies in here and 22 stamps. So these are all the little sentiments that you get with these bigger words. And again, I think it's one of those unsung heroes, really, because Lisa's always bringing out such fabulous stuff. I think sometimes the older stuff gets forgotten. There are some of these still in stock. And then I'm using the Layering Stencils Climbing Rows and the matching embossing folder and die. So this is the card that I'm basing today's on, but it is going to look slightly different because after I'd made it, I wasn't 100% happy with this bit. I mean, it looks okay, and I'll use the card and I'll send it out to somebody at some point. But I don't know, I just thought this was a little bit overkill. So what I'm doing today is slightly different, based on the same sort of layout, but slightly different. So let's get stuck into the stenciling, shall we? Obviously I'm using the fabulous Ultimate. I have a feeling there are still some on the website. Okay, so let's get on with the stenciling first. And I'm starting off with my favourite, Twisted Citron. You can see I've already done this a couple of times this morning and last night. So this is why it's still got ink on, because I know Lisa leaves her ink on hers, but I don't like doing that. I like to clean mine and I just rinse them under the tap after I've finished using them. But because I'm using the same colours today, I didn't bother, which is why they look used. So I've gone in with Twisted Citron first, not too heavy because I want these leaves to be quite light. Okay, so that's my first layer, and you can see I've numbered I've gone over my numbers with a Sharpie pen just so that they stand out a little bit better, and it does help. It just saves you squinting and trying to find the number in the corner. So as soon as you get them, just go over the numbers with a Sharpie and they'll be fab. So we're going in with Mowed Lawn, and I'm not going in too heavy with this because Mowed Lawn's quite a green, if you know what I mean. But I just want these to sort of show the veins up a little bit, because I am going to go in with another colour on top of this green just to add some depth to those veins, because I just want them to not stand out as much. I don't really mean stand out, I just mean I want them to have a little bit more definition than just the green. So if I show you the effect with just the green, okay, that's quite nice. I could leave it like that, but I'm not going to. I'm going to add some shaded lilac, and it's only because it will totally change the green colour, and that's what I want really. I just want some definition on those veins, but I didn't want to use a really dark green because I didn't want that all over those veins. Okay, I just wanted on the sort of centre line of the veins really, not all over. So just add this quickly. Okay, so that's really changed those veins up quite a bit, hasn't it? And I really like that effect. So we're going in with number 3. I'm using number 3 now, and I'm going to go back with number 3 at the end, and you'll see why in a bit. So I'm going in with Tumbled Glass. Tumbled Glass is a really pale blue, but it just gives me the background that I want. I think I probably need to re-ink this oxide, to be fair, because I haven't ever re-inked it since I've had them. So there's my base layer. Now I'm not going to put this in my pile, I'm going to leave that to one side because I'm coming back to number 3 in a little while. So now we're going in with number 4. Now I'm going in here with broken china, quite a deeper blue than tumbled glass, but it's just going to give you the definition on those petals, sort of in the shaded areas. So when the sun's shining on your roses, this will pick up the shaded areas. Okay. I mean, I just love how quick this is. I just think it's probably the most genius thing I've ever come across, and I love it. So we're going in with Blueprint Sketch, and this is quite dark, so sort of be gentle with it to start with, and then decide whether you want any more. I just thought, you know, I do a lot of pink and purple cards, and not everybody likes pink, do they? I mean, I steer clear of yellow. I've got to be honest, I'm a bit scared of yellow, but I will use it if I have to. But I just thought, let's go with blues, because you do see blue roses out there, don't you? So why not celebrate different colours? Shall I leave it at that? Am I happy with that? Yeah, I think so. So then we're going in with number 6. So this is the last one. Now I'm going in with Salty Ocean on this. I didn't want to leave the Blueprint Sketch till the last layer. I wanted that to sort of be in the middle, and I wanted this Salty Ocean to be the last layer. And again, this is a really vibrant blue, so sort of, you know, be gentle with it until you're happy that you've got the shade that you want. That's why there's quite so much blue ink on my stencil, because I didn't want to go over the top with it until I was happy with the shading on it. I don't know why I keep hitting the ink pad, because I've got plenty of ink here I can use. I'll just pop that off and have a look, see if I'm happy with that. Yeah, I think so. I like that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop back in with layer number 3, which was the outline of the flowers. And again, I'm going in with shaded lilac, and I'm going around the edge of my flowers, just because I can really, and I really like the effect. So I'm starting on the stencil and I'm brushing inwards on the petals. Okay, I'm taking the ink off what I've put on here on the stencil before I re-ink my brush, and again I shall put it onto the stencil rather than straight onto the flowers. And I just think it just highlights the edges of your flowers, just shows you where the sun would sort of catch the edges of your petals. Okay, yeah, I'm happy with that. It just softens the edges of your petals a little bit, and I just think it's a really soft way of adding a bit of shading. Okay, so there's my stenciling. I mean, how quick was that? What have we been? 15 minutes, and I know I've been talking as well, so I just think that's really lovely. And then of course you will add your die over the top. I'm not going to cut this out for you today because I've already done what I need for today, but line your die up with what you've stenciled, then run it through your die cutting machine, and then run it through your embossing folder. Okay, I will do that at a later point, but I'm not doing it today because I've already got what I need for today. Okay, so I'll just put my stencils to one side. Right, so let's get on to our card. Now, I said to you, I wasn't 100% happy with this side bit here. I don't know why. I looked at it this morning and I thought, no, it's too much. So, firstly, I'm using a different stencil. This is the fabulous Tiles stencil. There are 5 of these left in stock. It's only £4.99. It's a fabulous quality, and I just think it's one of the prettiest stencils that Lisa brought out. This is one of the original stencils that she brought out, and I just think it's really useful. So I'm only doing in the corners. I'm not going to do a whole piece down here, but what I am going to do is use 2 different shades of blue. So I'm using quite a pale and quite a dark, but I am doing them really, really gently. Okay, there's my blue. Okay, so I'm starting with my tumbled glass. Now I've probably got a bit of blueprint sketch still on my brush, so just bear with. So I'm just really, really lightly rubbing through this stencil. I'm not going to the edge because I don't want it to have a harsh edge. I haven't taped it down because I can't be bothered. It just takes too long and it's too much of a faff. So if I hold that in place and lift it up, yeah, I'm happy with that. I think that's a really nice effect. So then I'm just going to add a little bit, tiny little bit of blueprint sketch. Now I am going to tap this off on my messy mat first, just to take off some of the depth of colour, because I don't want it to overpower the rest. You can't really see much of a difference, but there is a difference there, I promise you. And then I'm going to do the other corner exactly the same. I'm actually going to try and line that up as best I can with those bubbles, just in case I go over them. I'll just brush a little bit of that blueprint sketch off, because I don't want it to be too dark when I put this tumbled glass on. So I'll just hold that in place there. And again, it's just a really nice quick effect, just to add some interest to your card. So we'll just lift that up. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And then I'm just going to go over the top with a little bit, tiny little bit of blueprint sketch, just in a couple of places, just to give it a bit of a difference in the shading. That's enough for me. Now then, the other thing I'm going to do is I am going to use my blueprint sketch very sparingly, put my stencil out of the way, and I'm going round the edge of the card, only because I just want to take off the sort of, I want the edges to stand out, but not, I want it to stand out but blend in, if you know what I mean. So I'm starting on my mat and just brushing across the edges, and the reason I'm doing the whole card is because I'm not stenciling over here, but I want it all to tie in. So I'm just brushing around the edge of the card really, really gently, because, as I say, blueprint sketch is quite a vibrant blue, and I don't want to go over the top with the colour. So that's just taking off that stark white edge. Okay, I'm quite happy with that. So there's my base card. I'm going to make sure I've got it the right way up, because I've done that before as well. Yeah, I just think sometimes it's, people try and use the stencils in their entirety, and I don't think you need to. I think using tiny bits of the stencils gives a really beautiful effect with hardly any work at all. Okay, so as I said, I'm using the nested rectangles, and I've used the outer frame, which I've cut in Lisa's fabulous black glitter card, because I could. I just think it's gorgeous. Okay, I've put my 3D pads on the back because I am raising this up slightly, and then I've got a matting layer which I've cut out of Lisa's texture card. This is the white, obviously, and again I've put my 3D pads on the back. Okay, so I'm just going to add those, and I decided to raise it all up. I didn't with the pink one that I did. I left the bottom layer flat to the card, and again, I don't know whether it was that, whether it was the stenciling. It just, you know, when you look at a card and you think it's not what I've got in my head, and that's what happened with that one. So that's why I've changed this one up a little bit. But it is a really simple card. You know, I think sometimes you can try and put too much on a card. I mean, Lisa's got so much fabulous product that I think sometimes we try and use as much as we can, and sometimes you can spoil your card like that. So sometimes less is more, and I know Lisa will be the first to say that, because she's very much a less is more card maker. Clean and simple cards are what appeal to Lisa. So for me, this is about as clean and simple as I get. What I want to do, nearly forgot there, was just add a tiny bit of glue to each of these pads, only because I am gluing it to glitter card, and sometimes the pads just don't give you enough grip. So I'm adding a little bit of glue just to give me that extra security on the adherence of that card on the top. Okay, so that's that. Now we can bring our flower in. So this was the one I did this morning, and again I've put my pads on the back, but I'm going to do this one a little bit differently. I did it twice this morning. I stenciled it all twice and embossed it, cut it out and everything, and then I cut it up, and I've cut it up to decoupage the front flower so that the front flower is really at the front, if you like, but I haven't scrapped the rest. I'll show you the rest in a minute. So if I just stick the flower down first, I'm not putting any stenciling or anything on this white, because I want the flower to be the main sort of focus on this panel. So I just put the flower down first, and I am putting it so that it's at an angle rather than like that, because I just think it looks better. So pop that down there. Okay, now then, because I'm decoupaging this, I'm going to use my 3D glue gel, because I just want it to, I don't think pads do enough for it, to be honest. I think sometimes you can use pads, but it doesn't give you the height in the right places. That's my personal feeling, to be honest. I just like the way that you can manipulate your image if you're using glue gel rather than pads. I know it seems a little bit over the top when I put all this on, but I don't want it to go anywhere. So that's my first bit, and then I'm just going to pop this on top of my first flower. Okay, and that way that front flower really does look like it's in the front. Okay, I just think it's a little bit different. So sentiment, obviously I'm still using the Builder Sentiment set, and these come with, if I just run through it, you've got your stamp, your big stamps, and then you've got the die that cuts that big stamp out, and then these extra small stamps you get to just be able to stamp your other piece of your sentiment next to it. So what I usually do, which is what I've done here, is I've stamped my sentiment and I've cut it out, and then I've just used the die and cut it out again, just in black card, just so that I can move the stamped part and give it drop shadow. And I just think it's just a way of lifting it away from your card a little bit. So my love is going here, and I just think that little gap there just lends itself to where that sentiment goes. Now before I put that down, because I am going to put that down with glue gel, I'm just going to stamp the other part, and all I've used is the lots of to go with the word love. So if I pop that down there like so, and again, all these stamps give a fabulous image, and I've used a VersaFine clear like I always do if I'm stamping sentiments. And then I'm just going to add my 3D glue gel to this so that it sits higher than that stamping and matches the rest of the card. So there's no point lifting all this up if you're going to leave your sentiment flat, because to me it doesn't look right. So that's my opinion. Right, I'll just put a little bit down the bottom there, and then it's not going to go anywhere. Now before I put this down, I said to you that I hadn't scrapped the rest of this, okay? What I did was I cut the top flower and bud out, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it here underneath this sentiment. I use my tweezers because I don't want to put this down in the wrong place. So I use my tweezers to hold it. And if I put that there, then I can work out where my flower is going to go. Alright? And I want the L to catch that top leaf. So I reckon about there. So if I put my glue on the back, I'm not using 3D glue on this, I'm putting this flat. Okay, so let's lift this sentiment, put this one down. I'm going to have a little bit of time to move this, but not a lot. So just pop that down there like that. And then to me, so I haven't got a great deal of time to move it, to me that just ties in with that flower over there. Okay, I just think that is just one of those little finishing touches that makes the difference between, yeah, that's a nice card, or wow, that's lovely, and I think that's a wow, that's lovely. So then I'm just going to be totally me and just add 3 little flat back pearls to the top of this card up here, just to draw the eye towards the flower a little bit. I've got 2 different shades of blue here. I think I'm just going to stick with the darker one, to be honest. I'll just flatten my sentiment with my hand. Okay, just add the last one over there. Because you know me, I can't not use pearls. If I've got the option to use them, then I'll use them, because I just think it makes a really nice finish to a card. So there you go. For me, I think that looks much nicer than that one. Okay, I'll leave it there for today. Thank you very much for joining me, everybody. It's so nice to see so many of you here every time. I'll leave you with a couple of shots of today's cards, the pink one that I did for a demo, and of course the blue one that I've done for today. I hope you all enjoyed that, and I hope to see you all again very soon. Don't forget to tune in every Friday for Lisa's Lives. Bye for now, everybody.